PGDM first year students would like to warmly welcome you all to this year's Artificial Intelligence and Data Science Conference.
In an era where artificial intelligence stands at the forefront of technological innovation, we are witnessing a monumental transformation on how economies evolve, adapt, and thrive. India, with its dynamic digital landscape, is uniquely positioned to harness the power of AI-driven advancements, shaping a future defined by progress, inclusion, and opportunity.
As we gather here today, we find ourselves on the brink of a digital revolution, where AI-driven innovations are not merely enhancing efficiencies, but are fundamentally redefining the way we live, work, and connect. From enabling smarter governance and personalized healthcare to transforming e-commerce and financial services, AI is propelling India towards a digital economy that is robust, resilient, and ready to embrace the global challenges.
Our journey today is not just about exploring the technical dimensions of AI, but also about understanding its transformative potential in creating opportunities, overcoming barriers, and empowering 1 billion lives. This conference aims to delve into the impact of AI in shaping India's digital economy, unravel the opportunities it presents, and discuss the challenges we must navigate to ensure inclusive and sustainable growth.
With this theme for today's conference has been set as AI-driven innovations transforming India's digital economy. Let us embark on this exploration together as we uncover the ways in which AI is revolutionizing industries, driving economic growth, and paving the way for a brighter digital future of India.
May I now kindly request everyone to rise for the LBSIM anthem.
लाल बहादुर के सपनों का अनुपम अनुसंधान, शोध और शिक्षा से करते सकल विश्व निर्माण, सत्य सरल सुंदर जीवन का शिक्षा ही आधार, LBSIM करती है सतत इसे साकार, जीवन और प्रबंधन काले करके अक्षय ज्ञान, छात्र यहाँ के नित्य बढ़ाते मातृभूमि का मान, शास्त्री जी के ही सारे आदर्श हमारे प्राण, LBSIM का प्रण है भारत बने महान, भारत बने महान, जय जवान जय किसान, जय जवान जय किसान, जयती जयती जय 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 LBSIM महान।
सत्ताईस मई 1964 पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू का निधन हो गया। देश गहरे विषाद में डूब गया। सभी के मन में एक ही सवाल था, कौन बनेंगे नए प्रधानमंत्री, कौन करेंगे इस महान सभ्यता का नेतृत्व।
आफ्टर नेहरू नेहरू के बाद कौन होगा, तो ये उनको इस बात का एहसास था। जब मुझसे पूछा गया कि इस कमी को दूर कैसे करेंगे, तो उन्होंने कहा कि पंडित जी ने अपने व्यक्तित्व की वजह से, टावरिंग पर्सनालिटी की वजह से, उन्होंने इस पद को शक्ति प्रदान की और मैं प्रयास करूंगा इस पद से शक्ति प्राप्त करने की, जिससे कि मैं देश की सेवा कर सकूं।
2 अक्टूबर 1904 के दिन काशी के पास मुगल सराय में जन्मे लाल बहादुर का पूरा व्यक्तित्व ही गांधीवाद का जीता जागता स्वरूप था।
उनकी सादगी, पहली बात तो धोती पहनते थे, ये आम आदमी को उससे बड़ा भरोसा हो जाता था कि हमारे जैसे है।
पिता की छत्र छाया बचपन में ही छिन गई थी। विधवा मां के साथ ननिहाल चले गए, वहीं पर परवरिश हुई। 1921 में जब स्वतंत्रता आंदोलन में कूद पड़े तो निष्ठा और दृढ़ता के प्रमाण मिलते चले गए। 17 वर्ष की आयु से स्वाधीनता तक लगभग 9 साल जेल में काटे। रहीमन हीरा कब कहे लाख टका मेरो मोल। पार्टी कार्य में उनकी निष्ठा से प्रभावित होकर नेहरू ने लाल बहादुर शास्त्री को रेल मंत्री नियुक्त किया, परंतु 1953 में घटी एक रेल दुर्घटना की नैतिक जिम्मेदारी लेते हुए शास्त्री जी ने मंत्रालय से इस्तीफा दे दिया।
उन्होंने वो इस्तीफा देकर राजनीति में नए मूल्यों की स्थापना की।
नेहरू जी के मंत्रिमंडल में कई विशिष्ट पदों पर अपनी छाप छोड़ते हुए वे गृह मंत्री नियुक्त हुए। 9 जून 1964 पंडित नेहरू के निधन के बाद स्वयं पंडित नेहरू के चहेते लाल बहादुर शास्त्री ने भारत के दूसरे प्रधानमंत्री का पदभार संभाला। कुल 4 शब्दों में उस मृदुभाषी व्यक्ति ने देश को एक नारा दिया, जय जवान जय किसान।
उन्होंने उस समय इस बात का एहसास कर लिया था, देश के अंदर हमें अपने जो भंडार है अनाज के उन्हें पूरा भर देना है और एक जो भारत के गौरव और गरिमा को देश विश्व में खड़ा कर देना है, वो अगर संभव है तो जवानों और किसानों की जय जयकार करने से ही है।
Lal Bahadur Shastri, Prime Minister of India, speaking on Independence Day in 1965.
हम हथियारों का जवाब हथियारों से दें।
5 सितंबर 1965 पाकिस्तान ने भारत के खिलाफ खुली जंग का ऐलान कर दिया। जवाब में भारतीय सेना पंजाब से सीमा पार कर गई। जब तक संयुक्त राष्ट्र की पहल पर युद्ध विराम हुआ, तब तक भारत की सेनाएं पाकिस्तानी सेना पर हावी हो चुकी थी।
वो किसी के दबाव में आने वाले व्यक्ति नहीं थे। जब ऐसी घटना होती है तो बहुत ज्यादा अंतर्राष्ट्रीय दबाव होते हैं। अगर आप दब गए तो झुक जाएंगे, वो नहीं दबे। लेकिन फिर शायद दोनों देशों की भलाई सोचकर वो युद्ध विराम पर राजी हो गए।
10 जनवरी 1966 ताशकंद। जिन आदर्शों के नैतिक बल का मजा वो पाकिस्तान को चखा चुके थे, आज उन्हीं आदर्शों की उदारता से उन्होंने समझौते के कागजात पर दस्तखत कर दिए। लेकिन अभी समझौते के दस्तावेज पर स्याही सूखी भी न थी कि उसी रात शास्त्री जी को दिल का दौरा पड़ा और उनकी मृत्यु हो गई। गांधी जी ने कहा था कि शत्रु का दिल जीतना ही वास्तविक जीत है। सुदूर ताशकंद में जब स्वर्गीय लाल बहादुर शास्त्री को कोसिजिन के साथ साथ खुद जनरल अयूब खान ने कंधा दिया, तो लगा जैसे शास्त्री जी बापू के फलसफे को चरितार्थ कर दुनिया से रुखसत हो गए थे। लाल बहादुर शास्त्री केवल 18 महीनों तक भारत के प्रधानमंत्री रहे, लेकिन अपने प्रधानमंत्रित्व के छोटे से कार्यकाल में शास्त्री जी ने भारत के हर नागरिक के कानों में आत्मसम्मान और आत्मबल का मंत्र फूंक दिया था। अपने व्यक्तित्व से उन्होंने निष्काम कर्म और पुरुषार्थ की वो मिसाल कायम की कि उनकी गिनती भारतीय इतिहास के सर्वोच्च महापुरुषों में होती है।
would now request Dr. Gitanjali Sahi, Faculty, LBSIM, to kindly welcome our chief guest, Mr. Rohit Sood, with a planter. Thank you. We also extend a warm welcome to all distinguished guests, accomplished professionals, respected academicians, and esteemed members of media. We look forward to a day enriched with thought-provoking discussions, valuable collaborations, and insightful exchanges.
Moving further, I would now like to take this opportunity to invite Professor Praveen Gupta, Director, LBSIM, to deliver the welcome address and officially declare today's National Artificial Intelligence and Data Science Conference open. Please, sir.
Chief guest for today's National AI and DS Conference, Mr. Rohit Sood, Data and AI Pre-Sales Engineering Leader, IBM. Guest of honor, Ms. Namrata Bhattacharyya, MD, Accenture. Guest of honor, Mr. Lagan Shastri, Member of the Advisory Board, LBSIM, and also the Chief Strategy Officer at Reliance Consumer Brands. My colleagues, Dr. Rekha Gupta, Dr. Rajkumari Mittal, distinguished guests from industry, speakers for today's program, faculty members, administrative staff, LBSIM, and dear students. I extend a warm welcome on this cold morning to each one of you. My special greetings and welcome to the dignitaries on dais who have graced the occasion. AI and DS, as we know, is one of the important area of technology, business, and we can say in our life. Let me also share with the dignitaries today. Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management runs 3 technology-driven courses led by PGDM AI and DS, PGDM Research and Business Analytics, and PGDM E-Business. So that shows our commitment and focus to bring technology to management, education, and business schools. The topic chosen by my team, I congratulate them for very apt theme, AI-driven innovations, transforming India's digital economy. Let me share some of the facts which are given by Ministry of Finance. The contribution by digital economy to India's GDP, say 10 years ago, was 4 to 4.5% only. But now we are seeing a huge role of digital economy, and it is close to 14 to 15%. And the predictions are by 2026, this will contribute 20% to the GDP. That itself shows that digital, you can say transactions and digital economy is at the center place. Now it is the next role for AI, how AI plays an important role in terms of digital economy. We have large number of skilled, you can say citizens, in terms of large number of technical people, engineering graduates. So we are at the cusp of using this, you can say, very well designed, developed opportunity for us. How much we harness that, that is up to us. Let me also share when we saw the advent of IT in early 80s. I think credit goes to a handful of the entrepreneurs which saw India playing an important role in terms of IT. And similarly, we have a very big opportunity in front of us. The one purpose of this seminar or conference is to have better industry-academia interface. But this is also one of the opportunity to send these signals and triggers to our students. That opportunity lies in front of you, how much you can use it, say, to your benefit, that is up to you. We were discussing in the morning with the guests. You see, one of the major challenge in today's industry is by the age of 35, 40, after 10 to 15 years of, say, work-ex, are we able to skill or reskill ourselves to the demands and the rigors of the industry needs after 10, 15 years? That is the most important challenge. So we have to keep skilling ourselves. Some of the major contribution of AI we are seeing in the area of finance, in the area of security and surveillance, in the area of supply chain and logistics, in client relations, especially the customer relationship management. Now it is customer experience management, how AI can play a central role. So these are some of the areas where we can work upon. Agricultural innovations and say weather predictions, all these things are also central to the theme of AI application to digital transformation. We have certain challenges in terms of how AI should remain ethical. That has to be, you can say, worked on by the industry and academics both. One major challenge in days to come from Indian point of view can be low preparedness and skill gap. And whether accessibility and participation is equitable, that also to be seen. That will decide the future of India. Let me also throw a challenge to our students, to our faculty. One challenge I think I have already shared with them yesterday, how management education across different streams, say, embrace technology. That is the major thing. It should not remain to, say, glued to PGDM, artificial intelligence and data science and PGDM, research and business analytics. The AI and its application should be central to all the program, whether it is PGDM general or whether it is PGDM finance. So that is the real challenge, and I have already conveyed to my faculty. And the same spirit has to be shown by students as well. So don't think that, oh, I am studying human resource, so maybe already you have seen the application of analytics in HR. Similarly, the applications of AI in different streams, that is the most important thing. So I request industry people also, how can they, say, inspire us and guide us in terms of bringing AI to the central, say, place in terms of business education at least. And secondly, my faculty colleagues, how can they redesign and redefine the management curriculum? Thank you so much. And once again, I extend a warm welcome to the dignitaries on dais, dignitaries of the dais. And I hope it will be a very fruitful discussion throughout the day. Thank you so much.
Now, I would like to invite Professor Rekha Gupta, conference convener, to apprise us of the theme of this year's conference. Please, ma'am.
Thank you, Chahat. On behalf of Chairman Shri Anil Shastri, Director Professor Praveen Gupta, I extend a warm welcome to the chief guest of today's conference, Mr. Rohit Sood, Data and AI Pre-Sales Engineering Lead from IBM Technology, India and South Asia. The guests of honors for today's conference, Ms. Namrata Bhattacharyya, Managing Director, Accenture, Mr. Lagan Shastri, Member Advisory Board, LBSIM, and Chief Strategy Officer, Reliance Consumer Brands. Our Session 1 panelist, Mr. Anurag Seth, Principal AI ML Advisor to Amazon Web Services Startups, Mr. Kunal Gupta, Senior Vice President, Data Science and Analytics at Deloitte, and Mr. Sandeep Dinodia, Founder and CEO, Simple AI, Rajkumari Mittal, my conference co-convener, faculty colleagues, management grade, Chief Administrative Officer, DARE Club students, and students present in the auditorium. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the National AI and Data Science Conference, which has been titled AI-Driven Innovations, Transforming India's Digital Economy. I'm going to concentrate on innovation part as well. So as it is said, innovation is more than just ideation. Ultimately, innovation is about the value creation. The advent of AI has intensified the focus on the principles that drive innovations as organizations aim to leverage its potential to transform business processes and reshape operating models. The goal, of course, is always to unlock new value across customer experiences, products, services, operation, and societal impact. However, when you go on embedding intelligent or smart functionalities into products and services, they bring challenges which are beyond technology alone. True innovation is not about only technological progress, it's also about crafting solutions which are sustainable, scalable, and capable of addressing practical real world challenges. Addressing this level of transformation, innovation demands would require a strategic blend of design thinking, data science technologies, economics of scales, and also cultural empowerment. That's what we are looking at. Praveen sir has already highlighted some of the facts. I would just say, it's the $5 trillion economy, AI is already supposed to contribute $500 billion to India's GDP by this current financial year. The major trends which are actually shaping and facilitating AI in India especially is the enhanced government efforts. The National AI Strategy, the AI research centers which the government has developed throughout the length and breadth of the country, and also the government, channelizing investments into AI-driven solutions for key sectors for social benefits like agriculture and healthcare, where technology can deliver significant impacts as one of the major boosts. The other trend is the bubbling and expanding AI startup systems. We have numerous startups which are creating groundbreaking solutions. And of course, enhancing healthcare, increasing efficiency. These are the key trends. And the hurdles, of course, we all understand is the skill gap, the data accessibility, data standardization, cost barriers across corporations which can invest in AI and which cannot. And of course, the largest problem of the ethical and the regulatory issues. The cost, in terms of ensuring fairness, neutrality of AI systems, addressing algorithmic biases are the areas of critical concerns. But India's AI potentials are bright. With a strong talent pool and a bold vision, the nation is well positioned to emerge as a global leader in AI. So we look forward. So with this theme, we designed this conference with an inaugural session which will focus on the national perspective. Session 1 we have designed with business use cases where we look forward to industry demonstrating use cases where business processes have been reshaped for optimization and efficiency. Post-lunch, AI DS conference without hands-on, how can that be? So we have designed a lot of workshops where we try to cover all functional areas to give you a window of light, look at the world which is there beyond your curriculum, AI in HR, AI in logistics, supply chain, marketing, HR, what about power platforms. So that's how we look forward to deliberations and discussions around the sunshine area, which is bound to touch you. And we'll see how the processes, the organizations, ecosystems will create a strong foundation to leverage the power of data and AI while remaining adaptable, ethical, and strategically focused. So that's about it, and we look forward to valuable inputs from our esteemed panelists and participation of students to make this, an event which delivers something. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We are all looking forward to the enriching discussions lined up ahead.
It is an honor to introduce today's chief guest, Mr. Rohit Sood, an accomplished professional and a visionary leader in the field of data and artificial intelligence. Mr. Sood is the Data and AI Pre-Sales Engineering Leader at IBM Technology India, South Asia, bringing with him an impressive 27 years of comprehensive IT experience. He is renowned for his deep expertise in delivering innovative solutions and drive business value and exceed customer expectations. Leading a team of dedicated solution engineers, Mr. Sood champions IBM's flagship data and AI portfolio, empowering his team to deliver unparalleled technical expertise, guidance, and support across diverse domains and industries. Previously, Mr. Sood held key roles at IBM, CSC, and Larsen & Toubro, excelling in technical sales, partner engagement, and sustainability. His efforts are pivotal in defining and accelerating client transformation and modernization agendas, leveraging IBM technology to achieve tangible business outcomes. Mr. Sood is an IBM Red Book author and certified IBM virtual collaborator. With a postgraduate diploma in business administration from Symbiosis and a diploma in engineering from Jamia Millia Islamia, Mr. Sood combines his extensive technical acumen with strategic business insights. His contributions span crafting strategies, executing go-to-market plans, developing technical accelerators and solution blueprints, and delivering impactful demos and proof of concepts. Based in Delhi NCR, Mr. Sood is not only a trusted advisor in the IT domain, but also a golf enthusiast who continuously strives for excellence both professionally and personally. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our distinguished chief guest, Mr. Rohit Sood, to deliver the inaugural address. Please, sir.
Oh, it's already there. Super. Okay. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. It's a privilege to be here today at LBSIM, addressing such a bright and ambitious audience. And again, thank you for letting me stand in front of you and share my insights on not only about IBM, but typically how GenAI is going to use in terms of industries, multiple industries, and how GenAI is changing the way how people are adopting it, right? Artificial intelligence is no longer just a buzzword. It's a transformative force reshaping different industries. And we'll talk about few industries when I'll run you through in terms of our engagements. From an IBM standpoint, we have close to done about 1,000 plus pilots on GenAI across the globe. And when it comes to India, I think close to about 100 plus pilots. And of course, when you talk about briefings, there has been a number of briefings which we still are unable to count on terms of our fingers, right? So there is so much of industries who want to adopt GenAI. I think we will also see what are the challenges in adopting it and how people are addressing that as we move forward. As future leaders and decision makers, you will find that AI is not only about technology, right? Technology is 50% or probably less than 50% of it. But it's also about understanding how to leverage it strategically to drive innovation and create value, right? So when you look at AI, it is not new. It has been there since ages. We have to look at AI is all around us, from recommending typically your next binge or a show. Everybody is a Netflix fan, probably. If you want to see the next one, it automatically comes and sees these are the ones which are downloaded. That's AI for you. And it is also, creating your LinkedIn posts, creating your emails, all of those things are available today. And those are daily life-to-life integrations, right? But beyond the commercial or beyond the overall, consumer use of the AI, it is all about transforming industries. And that is where we come in picture and saying that how you're going to imply AI into an enterprise level of it. So let's go through it, and today we'll see how we are looking at AI and how India is looking at AI perspective, and see let's dive in and have some fun while we decode the world of AI, right? So let me bring up a quick screen of mine. Okay, so if you see this, this is a chatbot inside IBM, which is called Ask HR. I think Sir also talked about the AI has to be across domains, and it is not only about the IT or a data science or a data engineer to talk about AI. It is all about across, right? And so why I brought this up in the beginning is saying AI is not about a chatbot, and a chatbot is not an AI, right? So why I say this is, I'll run you through my slides and I'll show you the historical view of AI. And anyone wants to take a guess before I bring them there? When was the first chatbot created? Anyone? Take a guess. Or give me a decade. 80s? Okay. 60s? Wow, that's ambitious. Okay. So basically in IBM, when we look at, so we have created these multiple chatbots inside IBM, which is called Ask HR, Ask IT. So this is an Ask HR interface. We also have Ask IT, right? Anything about to do with my device configuration, with my application configuration, there's no human right now in IBM, right? Of course, there is also a button in the chat which says create a ticket and talk to an advisor if you're not able to solve it using AI. And what we have seen is we have reduced our HR workforce by 90%. When I say reduced workforce, we have reutilized them to do something innovative in terms of a business and outcome and all. And that is how, when I look at AI, typically if I give you a high level, a company CIO walks into an office, and today he has to go through multiple dashboards and all to look at how the company is performing. Tomorrow he walks in and saying, hey Siri, can you tell me how's my business working? And it's an NLP way of talking to an application at the back, and it talks back to him and saying these are the parameters and these are. And this is actually technically possible today. 4 years back down, when GenAI was not there, to create something like this, you have to train a specific model on a specific technology. But today with GenAI, the art of possibility has multifolds increased. So I'll go through this demos in detail later on, but let me take you through the overall view of, when you look at AI is not new, right? 1964 was the first chatbot. I think you were exactly right, 60. Was created, and it was called ELIZA. 1955, the term artificial intelligence was coined, right? So when you look at it's almost about 60 plus years of AI into us. 1950, the first Turing test was done from an AI perspective, but then when you see the breakup, 1960 to 1999, we call it something called an AI winter. Now, why I'm giving you a basic behind this analogy is saying AI is not new, it has been there, but what's changed today with GenAI is also what we'll cover in terms of the next few slides. And then when you look at the first computer built by IBM called Deep Blue, 1997, which actually defeated Garry Kasparov on a chess player, right? 1997. And then when you move out, 2011, iPhones, all iPhone fans, the Siri was built on 2011, and which is all about your virtual assistant with a voice interface in terms of, and we are about almost about 13 years from there, working with GenAI to bring in the chat interface. Anybody used ChatGPT? I should have asked the opposite, right? How many of you not used ChatGPT? Anyone use Gemini? Oh wow, Gemini is more fun. So you can talk to a Gemini assistant over there, and I was trying this with Kapil other day in my car and saying, Mr. Gemini, I'm feeling bored. Can you talk to me about something? And it was a really good conversation in terms of NLP, which we were able to do with that perspective. So 2014-17, and then comes the whole fundamental of, again, when I say machine learning, deep learning, from an AI standpoint, not going deeper into tech piece of it, but then traditional AI are mix of machine learning algorithms. And then when you combine multiple of machine learnings together, it creates something called a deep learning, a subset of ML. And what happened in 2020 was a big change. 2020, when was GenAI announced? 2019, 2020, 2021. Actually, Kapil asked me, we want to do a quiz. I said no, but I said, let me interact. 2020, who created a foundation model? Google. What was the name of that technology which created it? Sorry? BART, okay. BART was a technology which used it, but what was the actual bigger? Transformer, super. So a transformer was created, a mix of going, oops, the Siri picks my phone automatically. 2020, Google came up and picked up something called transformers, announced something called transformers, which was a innovation altogether. We have been doing GenAI since, we were doing standard traditional AI since 1950s, machine learning since 1950s. But then when Google announced transformer, it created a big, we call it inside IBM, or probably in industry calls it the Netscape moment. Anybody heard of Netscape? Who is older than me here? So the Netscape browser, what Netscape did to internet was a change, and that's how, when you look at OpenAI, when they announced ChatGPT 3.5, they did that change, which is called a Netscape moment, right? What they brought in is the capability of a transformer model, talking in an NLP, a mix of a decoder, encoder, combined together into a technology, and helping you, automatically train, or a pre-trained capability of a model to use for your use cases over here, right? So to nutshell, I think 2020 was a big change, and 4 years, 2020, we have seen how GenAI is changing the industries today. I'll run you through some use cases in my next slides, but this is the broad area of how the AI landscape has been moving from a traditional AI to a GenAI today, and everybody is on a war zone in terms of a GenAI. Everybody wants to hear about GenAI. When Kapil and me walks into any of a CEO or a CIO discussion, I think the first thing is say, okay, I'm going there to sell something else, but it says, acha, isko side mein rakho, GenAI batao, what you are doing in GenAI, right? And that's a board-down discussion. Every board today wants their organizations to adopt GenAI, and that is where we are in the cusp of a time frame where everybody who is talking GenAI would be able to scale up, leverage that capability as we move forward. So when you look at switching back to, from an India standpoint, Viksit Bharat, I think I was privileged to stand across our Honorable Prime Minister and the IT Minister, and they were talking about And by the way, I was amazed to look at their technical capability of saying they want to stand and give us 10, 15, 20 minutes to understand what you're doing from an AI standpoint. And that's how, when you look at from the prime ministers to the top, bottom, and to the organization, everybody wants to understand how we can leverage AI to make a use case or make a business capability out of it, right? Now, whether it is architecture, agriculture, healthcare, public services, climate action, I'll let you run through this slide, read this slide, but let me give you some examples which we did for customers. Starting from automobile, everybody knows Maruti, right? So from a Maruti standpoint, they create huge probably drawings from their vendors, and when these large drawings comes in, they want to convert these drawings into bill of materials, and the bill of materials gets fed into their system, and the system gets into manufacturing, right? Now, the drawings which comes, each drawing has about 1,000 plus items inside a single drawing. Now, how do you manage to compare these drawings with their line items in terms? They employed 2,000 employees to do this management of understanding what is there in the pictures and what is there in the system, and ensure that no part numbers are missed when they're actually entering it into the fundamental. We said, okay, this is looks like to be a simple use case or a interesting use case to go and implement from a GenAI. 2,000 people, we used to take close to about 2 months to do this comparison in terms of every drawing which gets generated. So when we went and built a GenAI-based use case for them, we were able to deliver a similar capability with an accuracy of 98.5%. Of course, it's not 100, 98.5%, with a time period of 2.5 hours, right? 2,000 people, and they could use that people of the skills of that people in actually delivering much value capability instead of doing this a monotonous job of comparing these images, right? So that's one example from a manufacturing industry. The second one, floods. We are working close to, from a government perspective, in saying that how can a Gen AI system come and detect a flood for you, you know? So we work with them in saying, by the way, we have, along with collaboration of NASA, IBM and NASA have together built a geospatial foundation model, which is trained on satellite imagery from NASA satellites, which is Sentinel-1 and Sentinel-2. So the model has been already trained with that specific data. Now, if the model was not there, and if you want to do this with satellite imagery from an India satellite INSAT-1 and B, it typically will be a 2-year project, creating that model, understanding those imagery, and then trying to figure it out how the satellite images can be inferenced upon, right? Now, but the model has already been built. I took that my NASA collaborated model, actually used the INSAT-1 and INSAT-2B images, fine-tuned that model based on the Indian imagery, and I was up and running in 4.5 hours. So that's an art of possibility when it comes to GenAI. Was it possible to do it without GenAI? Answer is definitely yes. And I was with a CIO in a conference, and him and myself were there in a panel, and he made a very good point. Rohit, if my CEO would have, and he was a CIO, if my CEO would have come to me and asked me to build an application 6 months or 1 year, 2 years back without GenAI, I would have told him I would take about 6 months to build that application. But today, with the capability of GenAI at my hands, I am able to confidently stand and saying I will deliver this application in less than 4 weeks for you. So that's a change. So the change is a pre-trained model which is available for you to use, and that's how, when you look at different business domains, the art of possibility becomes very interesting. And I'll show in IBM how we use those chatbots to get to an optimization in terms of the man-hour spent in doing something which a GenAI can come in and deliver, right? So again, sustainability, threat management, IT ops, IT automation, and ultimately everything is going to be using an NLP talking and delivering almost close to 967 billion of GDP by 2035, and that's the numbers we are talking about. Okay, now when you look at why India is in a cusp of difference in terms of the rest of the geographies, right? And if you look at this chart on the right hand side, the people who are exploring AI, the blue dots versus the purple dots who are deploying AI. And India is probably, and this is a survey done for enterprises over 1,000 employees, and India stands at the top when it comes to deploying AI from a production perspective. Right? Now, why this is different from India? Just to give you a flavor of what are the challenges in terms of, or what are the technology capabilities in terms of adopting or deploying GenAIs, right? Now, a typical use case, when you build a use case, it will be a multi-model use case. So when you talk about multi-modality, not a single model will answer all of your questions, right? So probably if you're going to use ChatGPT for everything, answer is yes, it will answer. But can anyone tell me what is the billion parameters inside a ChatGPT 4.0? How many parameters are there in terms of a large model like a GPT 4.0? Million? Billion? A typical model is roughly around 1 billion parameters, the small ones. A medium model will be about close to double-digit billion parameters. A GPT 4.0, by the way, it's very good. You can ask anything about it, it will answer it. But from an efficiency use of it, or from a use for a general use case, a GPT 4.0 is built of 1.76 trillion parameters, 1.76 trillion. Now, it needs a lot of firepower or a lot of infrastructure power to train that model, right? You know how many GPUs were used to train that model? Or take a rough guess. By the way, to train a model, you need those specific hardwares, right? GPUs, CPUs, and all these GPUs needs to be installed in a data center, connected together, working together, and delivering that outcome in terms of what you are typing today on a GPT screen and getting an answer. That's the back-end infrastructure GPUs which gets into it, right? It is very cost heavy when it comes to using a large model. So when I say, when you create a model, it has to be optimized in terms of energy, optimized in terms of price, optimized in terms of your sustainability requirements from an infrastructure standpoint. So nutshell, it will be a multi-model. So which model to use, where to use, that's a technology piece. Most of the time, the models are deployed on a cloud. You can't use Gemini inside a data center. You have to go to a Google data center to use a Gemini. So from a data sovereignty perspective, there are challenges. So that's a second level of challenge. Whether a bank would be able to use a GPT, or a bank would require a model to be defined on-premise, right? So those are the few. Governance is an important piece. Ethical use of AI is going to be the important factor. Human in chain, when you talk about governance, is going to be there. A scale for value, which ROIs, and ROIs, when you talk about use cases, it is all about ROIs. If you are spending 100 rupees on building a use case, how much quickly you can get that 100 rupees back from a use case perspective is a ROI statement. And ultimately, everything on an AI, it needs data. I think when out of 9 out of 10 customers whom I meet in saying they want to build a use case for GenAI, I think the whole 45 minutes inside a 1 hour discussion with that customer on a tech requirement gathering and all, 45 minutes goes in understanding what is the data which will get the result, what they are looking at, right? So there are technological challenges, and India being a super tech force in terms of bright minds like you, we have technical skills, we have people, we have, not wanted to say in an open forum, but a brains to deploy these GenAI into production environments, and that is why you see India on the top when it comes to deploying that perspective. Now, again, switching last two slides from a IBM standpoint and formative years, 1911 versus, and when you see IBM has been in forefront of each of these technology areas, right? Mainframe era, everybody have heard of mainframes, right? Okay, let me rephrase this for you. Everybody uses credit cards, yeah? I can put my phone on bet. Any of your transaction on credit cards have to go through a mainframe, right? Have to go through a mainframe because when you talk about MasterCard, Visa, American Express, all of these technologies runs on the mainframe today, right? It is not about the era. Mainframes are still available today. So again, there was a mainframe era where IBM was the key contributor. Then there was a PC era. If most of you would have heard of IBM Think laptops, right? And Think desktops. I think those were the eras. Of course, a decade back, IBM sold that business to Lenovo, where we are saying we are not going to be a commodity business area. We're going to focus on enterprises. We're going to focus on data centers and build that capability from that perspective. So that was a PC area where IBM was contributing and to that. Then there was a web era from a software standpoint when it comes to interconnected in terms of a network. And today we are talking about data era where IBM is also contributing pretty much in terms of a data perspective over here. And then data and AI is one of the key pillars inside IBM software technology. IBM has two soft pillars from a technology. One is the data, and other is an automation. So the data is going to be the pivot in terms of how these Gen AI use cases are going to come to a reality, right? So this is what we launched about 21 months back. IBM flagship product of Watson X, which is a Gen AI infused a platform, which is typically an AI and data platform, which gonna help customers take care of their data, manage the data into a structure which can be easily consumed by AI use cases. It will also help you train, validate, tune, and deploy those AI models. And then finally, the governance and the responsible AI framework, which is the .governance, Watson X .governance piece. And we have seen enormous customer pull in terms of they want to understand how to go and build a use case. They also want to understand, once we have built a use case, how you're going to govern it. And then there are the two on the bottom layers, which are the accelerators, how quickly you can get onto the field. Now, if typically I am going to ask you how much time an enterprise today will take to build a chatbot, right from the scratch to an end usable chatbot, a typical environment will take anywhere from 4 to 5 weeks period, right? We actually demonstrate this to our customers, very friendly interface, wherein a chatbot can be built in 2.5 hours, right from your data to your end capability. And these are what we call it as accelerators, which we bring onto the table. So in a nutshell, I think this has been an interesting journey for last 21 months when we announced Watson X, which is a Gen AI. And as I said earlier, everybody wants to understand how a Gen AI can help their businesses, how the ROI can be used to improve their turnovers in terms of use cases, and that's an interesting area where we actually are going and telling customers and saying, if you have a problem, throw that problem to us. We will get the people, teams inside your premises or with you to understand that problem and create a use case and deliver an outcome accordingly. So I think that's all which I wanted to share from a deck, but then I'm going to also run you quickly on a quick view of what I was talking about HR. Now, by the way, right from performance assessment of an employee to a salary decision of an employee, this tool comes and recommend what should be, probably if I am a team member, it will recommend my manager that what should be Rohit Sood's increment for the next year, right? It recommends, it does not decides, by the way, right? The action is taken by the manager finally. So again, talking to NLP, anyone want to ask a question which comes to your mind? An HR chatbot. Yes.
Sir, can you ask them about how do you assess qualitative metrics into play
Assess qualitative
of
metrics
different employees?
of employee. By the way, I don't know what answer it will give. I'm thought. Sorry, metrics. By the way, I don't know what answer it will give. Let's see. Okay, it was logging it now. I copy it back again. So by the way, when I type, it gives me some options. Yeah, so it goes to my 2024 annual performance reflection. Employees must have worked on 90 days to be eligible for this reflection periods, and the process is subject to any local legal labor regulations, council requirements for Canada. Managers, it's your responsibility to adhere and all. Yeah, so it is answering me and saying this is an IBM system to go and do those performance engines, performance reflections, and then going through a checkpoint page to go and deploy these environments.
Sir, does it has access to any of the database of employees?
Yeah. So I'm saying employee salary. Yeah, so it says you want to do a payroll or compensation, I say compensation. And it goes and saying that view current compensation, annual remuneration statement, or an SAP success factor salary statement. So basically it understands the context, and actually it will go and tell me from my direct reports, and it will go and pull up all the capability. Current composition, yes. And it will actually go and pick up all the data from the success factor, which is running at the back. This is the interface, so it brings up all the list of my people. I pick up any one of them and saying show composition, increase composition, decrease composition.
Sir, so do you customize this for each and every client which is looking for an HR solution as a HR agent?
Yeah. So customization will always be there for every use case. Answer is yes. It is not out of the box solution. The solution also depends upon what is the backend HR system you are running. This I am bringing in my GenAI layer on the top with the workflow, with the automation, with the rule engine. So there are multiple technology components. It is not just GenAI.
So sir, when you told us that you take about 4 to 5 weeks to train this model to present a use case to the client, right?
Yeah.
And so you train this. So what type of hardware do you use? Is your organization also using GPUs?
Yes. So there are GPUs available on IBM Cloud, and if customer is a banking customer or a government customer which does not allow me to use a cloud, we actually go and deploy this within their infrastructure.
Sir, are these data centers based internationally or out of India?
IBM data centers are based in India also and in international also.
Sir, recently, so NVIDIA has introduced this chip H200, which is 6 times more powerful
Than H100.
And right now there is US has, especially Trump has announced that they are restricting GPUs export of only 10,000. And right now Ambani, Adani, they all wanted to install
GPUs,
these data centers. How do you propose, like, we have the manpower, we have the knowledge, but there is no capability of...
Great point. So I think most of our customers, we leverage the infrastructure which is available on cloud, which is readily available, right? But if a customer is a very sensitive, like I was last week with Indian Air Force. They are very, an air gap environment, by the way. Leave the data sovereignty. They do not have internets connected. They do not have, and they have a complete air gap environment. So we work with our partners like in the terms of those partners which are delivering those hardwares. IBM also has also their hardware, but then we work with the partners who are available with those technologies, with those hardwares, and then we go work with them, deploy these within their environments, and then go and deploy the software on the top, which gives you the Gen AI, and then build a use case and deliver that capability.
Thank you so much, sir.
Super. So I think there are, again, so I think I'll stop my screen sharing, but then there is a lot of art of possibility is going to be an immense capability, right? And we have seen customers giving some difficult use cases, giving some simple use cases, and what we have done to tackle it is to deploy close to about 200 data science, data engineers person team within India to help deploy these use cases across the globe. So that is where, you know, the technology, the brain is what we go and deliver these use cases across the India for these capabilities. So I have time more? We are out of time. I was asking if they want to ask some questions, but I think me and Kapil would be here. Please feel free to engage and would love to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Sir, we sincerely thank you for sharing such thought-provoking insights. Your address has provided us with a deeper understanding of the subject and inspired meaningful reflections. It is now my privilege to introduce Ms. Namrata Bhattacharyya, a seasoned leader and a visionary professional who serves as the Managing Director at Accenture and is a global delivery leader. With an illustrious career spanning over 25 years, Ms. Bhattacharya has consistently exemplified excellence in end-to-end delivery, large-scale system integration, and application management projects. An expert in the SAP domain since 1996, she has successfully led complex, multinational engagements across geographies, working with renowned clients such as Anglo American and Rio Tinto. Her professional journey also includes impactful contribution at Telecris, Panica Biotech, AIG, Spansons, UMGI, Consumers Energy, Siemens, Starwood, Hero Honda, DMRC, Mother Dairy, and Malaysian Airlines. Ms. Namrata's expertise lie in system integration for M&A initiatives, S/4HANA implementations, and business process reengineering activities, contributing to transformative outcomes across diverse industries. With a bachelor's degree in economics and a master's in business administration, Ms. Bhattacharya blends academic rigor with extensive professional experience, embodying the qualities of a dynamic leader. Outside of work, she enjoys traveling with the family and friends. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Ms. Namrata Bhattacharya, our guest of honor, to share her thoughts and expertise with us.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. It's a privilege to be here and, seeing such exciting, and the day that is the conference. And I'm so happy to see all of you here. And, while Rohit was speaking and Professor Gupta as well as Ma'am Rekha was speaking, I was thinking, how has my journey been? And I want to just share my own journey. And I think something which for you to think about as well. I started when I was finishing my school, I thought I really liked the subject called economics. So I used to, in my college in JMC, we used to go and teach kids. So I thought that, I meant to be in the economic side and I will do this as a profession. And as things turned out, while finishing my college, some of my friends said, okay, everybody is doing MBA. So I said, oh, okay, it's new. Let me also do something like this. So I went ahead and gave the entrance, and then before I realized I was in the college, and I was doing MBA Finance. And then, when campus recruitment was going on, somehow, I didn't crack it. To be honest, I didn't. And I didn't crack it. I don't know why I didn't crack it. And then during that time, it was not always that all, organizations used to come to the campus. We used to go to the offices as well. So in that, I went to a couple of offices as part of our campus recruitment. And I went to ABB, and when I went to ABB, I was like, yeah, I think I'm meant for engineering, I think this is the organization that I'll be joining. And another 4 or 5 days later, I was called by Siemens, and that's where I joined them. And you won't believe, when I joined Siemens Telecom in the finance area. And in the finance area, it was called a department called controlling. I never knew what controlling would be. I mean, why is a department called controlling? And then only, within, I think, 2 weeks, I realized, oh, controlling means actual control. It's budgeting. It's actually budgeting and forecasting, and that's what I started to work on. And then, when SAP was being implemented, it was way back in 1996. So they said, okay, give us a core team, which is a team of people who are going to work on it. And they looked at, okay, this is a fresher. Okay, come on, all these people are in the team. And then, I realized that what I thought and where I landed up was on the technology side. And it is actually, it makes me think now, especially when I meet people in office, when I meet people across various lives sphere, I feel that, some of us, or most of you, will be doing jobs which don't exist. You will be, and you will see that change over a period of time. And this day, which the Institute has organized, it's a very, very important day. And why I say it's an important day is that, you'll pick up certain things. You'll pick up certain things. This is an investment that the Institute is giving, but you look at it as an investment on yourself. When you will see this, probably someday you'll be talking about it, that, this was the day. I thought, no, I should be doing this. No, I should be doing this. And I feel that, use this second half of the day for sure to think and to visualize what it could be. And you never know how your career shape, but there are things that come your way, and it's just a matter of, you raising your hand and saying, yeah, I think I'm game for it. Are you prepared for it? Yes or no? But you need to take out that time to prepare. And I would say that would be my, whatever I present is a full-fledged, how the economy is, what GNAI is going to do. But when you look at the transformation, it is actually yourself that you can drive it. And that's where organizations are looking at to you to make that change. So with that, a little bit of fun thing I wanted to just share, that I also, while coming on the way, I looked at ChatGPT and I, put the topic. And you won't believe what ChatGPT said. That, India has an ambition to become 1 trillion digital economy by 2030. And then I saw Rohit's slides, and it was like, no, it's going to be by 2035. And I was a little taken aback. I said, oh my God, okay, there is a little bit of machine learning that ChatGPT still needs to do. And this is the first thing that you put, even if you can try now, that's what it's going to bring in. So just don't believe in what, the prompts say. It is machine learning, and they are learning by your inputs itself. So that's something which I would like you to think about when you do. One thing is very, very important for you to wonder and, look at it, is that when you're looking at AI as a transformative force, right? and it is going to contribute to India's digital economy. You can see all the data which is available. What you see is actually going to lead to economic growth and social progress, as well as make India as a global competitive sphere. And that's very, very important. And the reason for that is that everything is money, right? Why you do it? Why are you doing it? There should be some impact on the GDP or economic growth. And that is why organizations are looking at it, why they should invest in, and there are some data points that I will share, and why we are helping organizations. We at Accenture are helping organizations to look at those areas in detail. You know, when we say India is in the forefront of the industrial or the digital revolution, and you know, everyone knows how the digital India has grown. Everybody has statistics to talk about. But I would say we have to focus on the digital infrastructure itself. Are we really geared up to do so? It's something to think about. Why is India in a unique position? Any thoughts? Why is India in a unique position in the digital journey? Absolutely. Absolutely. The talent pool that we carry, right? The talent pool that we are giving, and the number of startups that are there. So the brain is here, the talent is here, and you are here in this room. And why is it that, you know, this is really leading India to a global, as a global player? Any thoughts on that? Because, you know, there is population, there is growth, there is, you know, areas where we can really put in our efforts and grow. For example, if you look at what kind of breakthrough we have done in health, what kind of breakthrough we have done in agriculture, and also unlocking what we have in our, you know, transformative pathways for inclusive growth. And when I say inclusive growth, it's actually looking at, you know, the rural India and the urban area. And I had just heard that you do some programs with rural, you know, and you have initiatives and where you understand the gap. So there is a lot of work that is potential to do in the rural area and the rural space as well. If I just look at things to ponder, and this is for your thought, you know, just I thought it's important for you to think when you're doing the workshop, these are some ideas that will remain with you, is that why India stands at the crossroads of digital revolution. With 700 million internet users and the growing digital economy, it's a catalyst. AI is a catalyst. Now you say artificial intelligence or Gen AI. It is actually a catalyst which will be driving the service-based economy. And you have seen how service-based economies have grown, as well as knowledge-driven, which most of us are focusing on. And when I say that, you know, diverse India, AI is just not technology, right? It is actually an equalizer. And when I say equalizer, meaning farmers, they can access the market intelligence much better now. And you have examples of those. Then there are doctors which provide remote diagnostics. And we are fully aware what happened during pandemic and how we were able to use it. And also that, you know, AI is now ensuring that nobody is left behind. And that is why rural India is also growing, and that is what you need to look at. There's a projected contribution for India's GDP I talked about, that is a 10% growth we see. And there's nearly 500 billion, that is what we are envisaging. So if you look at the count, 500 billion is where, you know, it will be contributing to our growth. And when we look at it, that effect is actually going to be leading to employment across sectors. So this was something for which I thought that you should look at and understand that these are some areas that will be And there is a lot of, STEM talent available and a lot of focus on STEM. And you are seeing Government of India focusing on STEM education, STEM especially, and people who are ready. And such, conferences really makes you ready in this lines. If I just look at one aspect, too much to talk about, but where, some examples that I'll be sharing is actually Accenture working with the infrastructure and, public services. And that's something which is a small glimpse I would talk about, how we have made an impact. And if I just look at what are the sectors are enormous. Just list down the sectors, be it agriculture, be it healthcare or education. Even when education, it's actually breaking the barriers in the access to education which people are getting now. And when you look at finance, and I will be talking about a use case in finance, where we are, making a change in how the government funds are being used and, loans are being accessed, and what is the difference that has made. It's a combination. It's just not AI. It is a combination of digital transformation. It's a combination of, the use of AI that is being done, as well as, our, I would say from a government standpoint of view, they are not very open to let go of some, data to go on cloud, or they are very much protective. But those are very, very ethical, good concerns, I would say. The reason I say good concerns is that when we are doing use cases and we are doing proof of concepts for organizations, we realize that why it is important, because that's their business. And, they will not be letting those to go in a public domain. So that is what I say that, some of these sectors, but I will be focusing on two areas, especially, which I drive and I have been working on, is actually supply chain excellence as well as manufacturing excellence. And what I see as these are some of the areas which have made a huge impact to the organizations. Any comments on any sector you would want me to talk about, or, we go with the flow? All right, so 3 sectors I just wanted to talk about. One was in the public services, how the public services is being transformed. You are fully aware about the smart cities, waste management, and especially when you have done these programs, you would talk about how energy optimizations have happened in cities like Bangalore. There is the Krishi Vigyan, which is, getting farmers the accessibility to markets and market intelligence and how they have grown. So, and also the citizen services. You are all witness to citizen services in terms of the taxes that you give, as well as the portals and how fast they have grown. And one important aspect that you would see is, and which I have seen in the last 25 years, I used to work with, organizations like NTPC, Delhi Metro, these are all my clients, where each and every decision took at least 2 years or 2.5 years. Now that has fast forwarded. The decisions are quicker, and they know the benefits that they would get. And that's why quite a bit of work is being done, and this whole program of Digital India has really brought in the fruits that we are looking at. If we talk about startups, absolutely quite a bit of focus on startups. And we at Accenture do a lot of, collaboration, and we have a specific drive which is called Ventures, which work very closely with startups. And some startups, are, one of the startups I am aware of was my college colleague, that he is now venturing with Accenture. So it's just not India as a, focusing on encouraging startups for innovative ideas, but also corporates want to leverage these startups, and that is where quite a bit of work is happening. Last but not the least is actual ethical consideration. And this is a very, very important topic of, how can you be responsible AI? What is the use of responsible AI? There is quite a bit of focus on data privacy, and we want to ensure that data privacy is covered for our clients as well as for Accenture itself. And that's one reason that I'll be talking about some of my clients and use cases in mostly the industries that we have worked on. But when you look at public forums, you would see what we have done with them directly. So that's how I would say, these are some of the sectors where I'm very passionate about. Talking about Accenture, just to say that how corporates are more than willing to invest is Accenture has clearly announced a $3 billion investment in AI, and that is one of the key things, and that's I think the most talked about work of Accenture. And this is actually for clients' reinvention. Clients are looking at reinvention. They have gone through that journey. They have gone through the journey of landscape harmonization. They have gone through the journey of movement to cloud. Now they are looking at something more. And when they're looking at something more, it's actually in the data and AI space, and where lots and lots of investments would be done. And what we are looking at, close to 80,000 professionals that will be coming in the data and AI space. And I'm sure that the workshop, I was looking at the topics, a lot of it you will be using in the second half, which will be in the data and AI space, because faster decision making, availability of the data is where it all counts. Now, one important thing, and this is where I say that you will be working on areas which jobs have not been even come up, is that 97% of the organizations expect Gen AI. But as of now, they're still skeptical of how much they will be investing. And the percentage right now that they're willing to invest is close to 31%. So that's something to think about, that how it grows in the next 2 years will be very, very different. Another topic wanted to talk about, especially on supply chain. There are these numbers on the slide. Just look at it. These are published numbers. And when you look at what Gen AI can do, it's actually going to save 48% of the total work hours, right, in the supply chain activities. So can you imagine how much of an efficiency that can be built in when we are looking at supply chain excellence? And we are doing that for clients. We are doing that for our organizations where supply chain has been a big focus in the last 4 and 5 years. What we also see is a reduction if you just look at across supply chain. That means whatever you're doing is with third parties. When there is an integration, there's a dependency. There again, there is an efficiency that can be built in and looked up, which is 14%. These are all hours, right? Or when you turn it down to the dollars, you see the potential that the organizations are looking at. And when I said it is about money, obviously, they all are doing this so that they can make sure that their business grows and they're optimally growing. Next area of interest that is again for me was manufacturing excellence. And when you look at some numbers, and these are again published numbers, that 78% of the companies are looking for multiplying their manufacturing sites in 3 years. And that's the kind of growth they are looking at post the pandemic. So that's where, when you are going to grow at this pace, you need manpower, you need people to do other things besides the routine work. So routine work is going to be generally automated, because 2 years or 6 or 7 years ago, it was automation. We were only talking about automation. Now nobody talks about automation. Can you tell me why nobody talks about automation? Yes, because we have crossed that path. We have crossed that path. We have seen automation done and dusted. We are looking at newer things. And when you're looking at, making 68% of your companies as, supply chain resiliency, you can imagine what is it that, the organizations are focusing on. One of the important, things that you look at supply chain as well as manufacturing is there is quite a bit of scope as well as impact it will make. If you just look at design and engineer, absolutely, in the way you plan for manufacturing and supply. When you look at the source, how do you source not just your raw materials, but also your talent? That again is an important thing to ponder on, and also fulfillment. These are some of the very, very, basic things if you look at it, but each one of it is very, very unique and large, and this is where we see a potential when we look at manufacturing excellence and, the potential that it brings for you guys as well when you are entering the workforce. In the end, I would say how they have maximized the production potential is what organizations will be countering on, and which will be actually, making sure that you are looking at a whole product life cycle. I think Rohit did talk about sustainability. Definitely sustainability is a target. And when you look at GenAI themselves, the kind of resource usage that is there, that itself has now driven questions on sustainability and, ecological balance. So that's something which we'll be looking at. With that, I would just want to, talk about 3 quick glimpses of what we have done at Accenture. And, these are some of the use cases, or I would say case studies and success stories that we have. One is a power consultancy, which works in the government area. And this is where, if you just look at what we did, the whole cycle, it's a close to 2.5 years of work that is there. But what is the outcome? It is actually making sure that the national average, supply is from 18.5 hours to 22 hours. So that is what is the end result. Now, what goes into bringing this data is a lot of 200 people working day in and day out. But that's where organizations are looking at, and that's a business outcome they want to focus on. Similarly, when I talk about financial services, again, this is a government organization which gives financial services to infrastructure projects. What they're looking at is a full trail of where the funds are used, of course, the funds being utilized in the right pace, and, as well as a world-class customer experience to the people who are using it. And why I say this is that, when we say the citizens, portals that are being, it is about transparency and having the access to the data, which is here. Next is on power supply. Again, one of our biggest clients that we work for. We have been engaged with them for close to 7-8 years. Huge force. And now when I present these, this is just out of the 3.5 lakh people that we work in India, this is close to 5,000 people that who work on these government projects, and that is what I'm talking about. So you can see the potential that it brings. And here it is actually demand forecasting for the power supply as well as dynamic load management. Now you would need expertise in this, but it is actually all data driven and information that is taken. And we work very closely with the clients on this. So this was what I wanted to cover from what we are doing from an Accenture point of view, and kind of inspiring you to, look what it is. And I just want to close this with this statement, because I do a lot of work and people do with the clients, and they feel that, are we going to lose jobs? But you should just read that. It is not about eliminating jobs. It is actually not about eliminating jobs. It's actually transforming the workforce. And transforming the workforce to make sure that, we are growing together. And it is just not a dream. It is actually, if you look at it from an India point of view, it's actually digitally empowered India. And that's why we need people like you to take on this journey. And I would say, please invest in yourself and grow. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for delivering such enriching perspectives on the topic. It was a real privilege to listen to your insights and viewpoints. I'm certain that the audience has greatly benefited from the knowledge and ideas you have presented.
We are privileged to welcome Mr. Lagan Shastri, Chief Strategy Officer, Reliance Consumer Brands, as our esteemed guest of honor for today's event. A visionary leader and dynamic strategist, Mr. Lagan has spearheaded remarkable transformations in the FMCG sector, guiding Reliance Consumer Brands through significant milestones, including its transition to management-driven organization. He's a dynamic business leader with over 25 years of experience in sales, operations, management, and leadership. Previously, Mr. Lagan held leadership roles at DFM Foods Limited and Hindustan Coca-Cola Beverages. Mr. Lagan led transformational changes at Hindustan Coca-Cola Beverages, achieving record-breaking revenue growth through innovative strategies and data-driven approach. Mr. Lagan developed frameworks like BPPC architecture, RED framework, and OBM to boost productivity in India. He excelled in global markets including China and South Asia, overcoming cultural challenges to drive operational efficiency and deliver remarkable growth. Mr. Lagan achieved exceptional results in sales operations, market strategy, and customer engagement by implementing India-wide pricing strategies, capturing market share, improving profitability, and consistently exceeding performance and expectations. A graduate of IIM Bangalore, Mr. Lagan is known for inspiring teams, fostering innovation, and delivering sustainable growth. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Lagan, our guest of honor, to share his thoughts and expertise with us. Please, sir.
So, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Rohit Sood ji, Namrata Bhattacharyya ji, Dr. Praveen Gupta, Dr. Rajkumari Mittal ji, and Dr. Rekha Gupta, guests, faculty, and all students. So, LBSIM, it's always a privilege for me to come. I don't get too many opportunities. Dr. Gupta doesn't allow me that opportunities to actually interact in a forum like this. I normally have private meetings with a couple of faculty or a couple of boards, which is a lot of, I guess, easy work for me. But you know, what a real, just a minute, yeah, what a real fun part of an educational institution is actually interacting with children and students. I'm sorry, not children, adults. So, but so it's always a privilege. And you know, as I think back, almost now 30 years, when I was at IIM Bangalore, and thinking where you would be first year, 1996. So first year, basically, chal kya raha hai? That's what I would be doing in this room. 70% of the people sitting in the room would say, यार ये क्या है यार, बुला लिया है टीचरों ने, बिठा लिया है, अब क्या करना है, क्या सुन रहे हैं, ये बड़े-बड़े लोग आके बड़ी-बड़े ज्ञान दे रहे हैं, इतना ज्ञान दे रहे हैं जो 30-30 साल में सीखे हैं, लेकिन हमें बता रहे हैं कि 10 मिनट में सीख जाओ. So that's, I mean, you'll have yawns and you'll have fun and you'll have interaction, but what I know, right, and what I remember is it's not about the academic knowledge that you'll gain here. Zilch, वो है ना आयरन मैन बोलता है नाडा कुछ नहीं है खत्म है 2 साल sorry faculty, you know, my experience from IIM Bangalore, I also did IIM Ahmedabad. I got the privilege of spending about a year and a half in IIM Ahmedabad thanks to Coca-Cola. And, you know, I did learn from the faculty, but rarely in the classroom. I did learn from my interactions, but absolutely rarely while doing group discussions. It was most of the time having fun over chai, coffee और canteen time. और मैं बताता हूँ मेरे 30 years में तो मुझे यही समझ आया है 90% जो वहाँ सीखा वो यूज होता है. Okay, so have fun is what I would first say before we really get into the nitty-gritties of all the next 2 or 3 days. Rekha ji, कब तक है? 2 दिन? 1 day, okay. Thanks, Dad. So, but yeah, so but have fun while you know the debriefing after this. जब बाहर निकलोगे और जो गालियां पड़ेगी हम सबको, that will be the better part of the memory that you'll serve. And I'm guaranteeing you, both of the people sitting here and who gave lectures, and I will also give one, will probably tell you, yeah, probably यार जो उस समय बोला या सुना ना वो तो बाद में सुना, बाद में जो बात हुई ना वो याद है, बाकी कुछ ध्यान नहीं है. Okay, but yeah, so that's the way of life. As one grows and grows, only memories are what become important, and that's what really teaches you in life. But having said it, so all of you, by the way, over time, will either become managers, budding managers, management thinkers. कोई entrepreneur बनेगा, आजकल बड़ा system बना हुआ है, हर किसी को business करना है, experimentation का ज़माना है, and everybody wants to do something. And probably some will become, because I come from a family of political background, so administrators कोई जाएगा, इसके बाद एक IS भी, आजकल तो IS में घुस जाते हैं, lateral entry हो जाती है. So you know things are really exploding. So therefore the opportunities are immense. You know, my son is in Triple IT Hyderabad. He's lucky to get himself into BTech there, and I just tell him it's just have fun, because मतलब ये time दोबारा नहीं आएगा. And आप सब याद रखोगे. Our job, you know, in an education institution, for the faculty, for the teachers, for advisors, board members, is really create a foundation for possibly future leaders. Our leadership is not about कि हर कोई जाके प्रधानमंत्री की तरह प्रधानमंत्री बन जाए या CEO बन जाए. मैं खुद CEO था. Leaders is also about leadership and a family. You know, it's not important to be a successful leader. It means that you have to have a lot of money, a lot of business. It's about leadership. My wife is a homemaker, and I think she's the best leader I have in my house. She's better than me. So therefore, it's not important that success comes only in commercial value. Unfortunately, the way of the world says that, but actually by the end of it, you realize it's not important. What's important is your relations, your network, your own experiences and knowledge. So use this time, and you know, this time, as I think about it, right, आज से 100-150 साल पहले नौकरियां नहीं होती थी, इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन नहीं हुआ था. अगर 100 साल 150 पहले ओनली फार्मिंग, मजा है यार, सिर्फ फार्मिंग करनी है. फादर फार्मिंग कर रहे हैं, मदर फार्मिंग कर रही हैं, हम मस्त कर रहे हैं, सो रहे हैं. देन इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन आया, फिर नौकरियां पानी है, फिर इंडिया सोशलिज्म की तरफ चला गया. लेट्स टॉक अबाउट इंडिया. सोशलिज्म में चला गया तब तक 91 में मनमोहन सिंह जी नहीं आए, नरसिम्हा राव जी नहीं आए, तो नौकरियां नहीं थी. भाई मेरे फादर तो या तो 2-3 कंपनी से, टाटास, बिरलास, जहाँ मेरे फादर थे, अनिल शास्त्री जी, या फिर क्या नाम है गवर्नमेंट जॉब. तो वो उसका हैंगओवर है आज भी. हमें गवर्नमेंट जॉब चाहिए. आप गांव में चले जाओ, सब कोई बोलता है गवर्नमेंट जॉब चाहिए, गवर्नमेंट जॉब मिल जाए बस. सो देन द एमएनसी कल्चर हैपेंड. लिबरलाइजेशन के बाद हर कोई, हमारा टाइम आया 96-98, हमने कभी ढूंढो नौकरी, कोकला, PNG, फिर उसके बाद थोड़ा और टाइम बढ़ता गया. You know, and now more recently now the time is, भाई अभी तो टाइम ही खत्म हो गया. कंपनी में जब तक ज्वाइन करते हो तो कंपनी खत्म हो जाती है. मतलब I'll give you an example. So my son got placement. You know, Dr. Gupta, I'm very happy. I got to know. I was trying कि मैं करता हूँ, इतने नेटवर्क है, मैं कर दूंगा. But finally he called me कि मेरे को 2 प्लेसमेंट मिल गई है. एक PPO मिल गया है and एक इंजीनियरिंग में. So he's still to do MBA. So एक PPO मिल गया एंड एक ऑन प्लेसमेंट ऑन जॉब मिला. तो जॉब मिली IDFC बैंक. सो दे आर गिविंग अ गुड सैलरी, 17 to 18 लाख रुपीज की सैलरी दे रहे हैं, है ना. वो सैलरी तो अच्छी है, लेकिन वो क्या कहता है, और मैं उसको सपोर्ट किया. द गुड पार्ट इज सपोर्ट किया. सो माई फादर वुड नॉट हैव सपोर्टेड मी, आई गारंटी यू. व्हेन आई वाज गेटिंग कोक एंड मे बी अ स्टार्टअप, वो कहते हैं क्या जा रहे हो. उसको एक स्टार्टअप मिली. स्टार्टअप इज अ 3 year सीनियर, ओनली 3 years. 3 year सीनियर ट्रिपल IT के लड़के हैं 2. एक US चला गया, एक बैंगलोर बैठा है. तो इसको 16-17 लाख वहां दिया, उसको 21 लाख दे दिया. टोटल एम्प्लॉय उस कंपनी में 5 हैं. ये छठा है जो अभी इंटर्नशिप में है, जो PPO मिला है. आई टोल्ड हिम डू दैट. ही टेल्स मी आई वांट टू डू दैट. सो दिस टाइम is very different from what I experienced, and I guess some of our esteemed guests here experienced, Dr. Gupta, even the teachers here. So this time is about a very volatile, if you say negatively, but a very experimentating वर्ल्ड ऑफ एम्प्लॉयमेंट। तो डरने का नहीं है बिल्कुल भी, क्योंकि जो तुम सोच रहे हो ना वो नहीं होने वाला है, कुछ और ही होने वाला है, ये गारंटी है। और इसका जो बिल्कुल थीम है ना, वो इन दोनों ने जो बोला मैं बोलूंगा, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस है। बिकॉज व्हाट आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस विल डू will completely and comprehensively change the entire spectrum of what employment is, or what business is, or what industries are. नौकरियां तो गारंटी खत्म हो जाएंगी, मैं बोलता हूं। बोलेंगे नहीं नहीं ऐसा नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं है ना, नौकरी खत्म हो जाएंगी। किसकी खत्म होंगी? आज की इंडस्ट्रीज की खत्म हो जाएंगी। मैं तो बैठा हूं, मैं तो एमडीसी हूं, बता रहा हूं खत्म हो जाएंगी। मैं तो एफिशिएंसी होती है कि प्रॉफिट कैसे बढ़ेगा? इंप्लॉयमेंट कम करो, इसकी जगह एक लगा दो एआई, चैटबॉट कर लो, खत्म होंगी। लेकिन क्या होगा? आई थिंक बोथ ऑफ देम सेड, बोथ साइड्स। एक पार्ट ये है कि जॉब तो कम होंगी, तभी कॉस्ट कम होगा, तभी प्रॉफिट बढ़ेगा। लेकिन इंडस्ट्रीज बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ जाएंगी, न्यू इंडस्ट्रीज क्रिएट हो जाएंगी। बिकॉज आज से, व्हाई आई गिव द एग्जांपल ऑफ द फार्मिंग, कैन यू गो बैक इन 1880 एंड आस्क दैट फार्मर इन इंडिया कि ये इस तरह का एजुकेशन कॉलेज होता, इस तरह की नौकरियां होती? नहीं बता सकता, वो नहीं बोल सकता। स्विमिंग पूल होते हैं, वहां भी नौकरियां मिलती हैं, क्लब्स होते हैं, इंडस्ट्री है ना वो एक। तो आज हम नहीं बता सकते। वी आर 1880 फॉर यू गाइस। सो यू, व्हेन यू बिकम अस, you would see a different world, and you would probably be telling your children that guys don't worry। लेकिन चिंता तो होती है, क्या होगा? पैसा दे रहे हैं मैनेजमेंट में। तो पहला बात तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ, मुझे पता है प्लेसमेंट भी चल रहा है, एंड आई वाज हियरिंग दैट वेरी गुड प्लेसमेंट्स आर हैपनिंग। इट्स स्टिल स्लोअर। माय सन टोल्ड मी 50% प्लेसमेंट, सो वी आर बेटर बाय द वे। सो ट्रिपल आईटी has only got 50% placement. We have got 75% placement, right? So class for you guys. So your institute is better than triple IT and some of the IITs on placement. 50%. IT Bombay is sitting at 45% placement today. 45%. And triple IT, similar in that sense, is sitting at 50%. So that's the reality. So world will change and adapt. And therefore people who don't get placed are probably going to do better. और ये मेरी सेकेंड पॉइंट है। मेरा एक्सपीरियंस ये कहता है, अगर मैं कोकला नहीं ज्वाइन करता तो मैं आज 10,000 करोड़ कमा रहा होता। क्योंकि कोकला ज्वाइन किया तो हाँ ठीक ठाक कमाया, बहुत कमाया, लेकिन उस कैटेगरी में नहीं कमाया। आई गेटिंग दैट? सो देयरफॉर दैट एस्पिरेशन इज डिफरेंट, राइट? सिक्योरिटी comes with its, which comes with employment, comes with attached issues. It's like अफीम, ड्रग। हर महीने के एंड पे तनख्वाह आएगी तो आराम करो ना। So therefore don't get too bogged down by the dynamics of what's happening in this world. But anyway, each one of you will charter your own course. That's the other part, right? All of you will charter your own course in life. Unique होगा सबका। And the one thing that will be common here, that's the good part, is you are all combined and have a commonality to this alma mater, Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management. And therefore it becomes a huge responsibility for you guys, and even bigger and larger for all of us, to make sure that you imbibe and internalize those values, that are relevant to the future of you people. And therefore, if I talk very large, India in general, a country in general, or world in general, right? So if you guys are good, the world will become a better place. So, like it or not, Shastri ji, where you joined, imbibed certain values that have stood the test of time. He was my grandfather, and I was not lucky enough or privileged enough to have met him. I was born much, much after he left for his heavenly abode. But having said it, whatever I've heard and whatever I've read, most of his values stand the test of time. So be proud of that heritage. Proud of the fact that, yeah, this is not IIM Bangalore. I myself, I'm from IIM Bangalore. But my two brothers are from Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management. And one of the things I keep telling in every possible chance that, I don't have the privilege of sharing my experience at the institute when I was here. I can only share general experiences, but my two brothers are, in that sense, better prepared for actually sharing what's really happening in your institute. But having said it, so शास्त्री जी की कई सारी वैल्यूज है. एक वैल्यू है, मतलब जैसे आज मोदी जी भी बोलते हैं, राहुल जी भी बोलते हैं, गांधी जी, आप मतलब क्या होता है, बाई पार्टिसन सपोर्ट इफ यू थिंक पॉलिटिक्स, क्रॉस कॉर्पोरेट सपोर्ट इफ यू थिंक कॉर्पोरेट्स, क्रॉस बिजनेस सपोर्ट इफ यू थिंक बिजनेस, इज बिकॉज ऑफ सर्टन वैल्यूज. इवन इन द फील्ड ऑफ एआई, बेसिकली एआई है क्या? मैं तो लेमैन हूँ यार, मैं टेक्नोलॉजी जिंदगी में नहीं की. मैं तो सिर्फ सेल्स, मार्केटिंग, सीओ 15 साल सीओ ही रहा. तो मेरे को तो नहीं समझ आता है ना, मेरे को तो यही समझ आता है कि काम कैसे करवाना है. सो देयरफॉर इन माय माइंड द वन वैल्यू that kind of resonates with this AI thing that Shastriji stood for, and surprisingly it's one of his strongest values, the value of self-reliance. So he basically, believed in self-reliance in such a manner that he believed in the individual strengths of the, not only of the collective of the individuals, but the individual in general, which means that जितना एक इंसान को empower करो, जितना उसको इंडिपेंडेंट करो, जितना उसको सेल्फ रिलायंट बनाओ, उतना वो स्ट्रांग होता है. और उसका जो अल्टीमेट एंड वन ऑफ द ग्रैंडेस्ट स्लोगन्स ऑफ हिज, जिसमें मेंशन भी किया जय जवान जय किसान इन दैट वीडियो, एक्चुअली एम्बॉडीज द स्पिरिट ऑफ सेल्फ रिलायंस, बिकॉज ही रियलाइज दैट अगर मैं एक एक जवान को इंपावर कर दूं बाई सेइंग जय जवान, उस समय नो सोशल मीडिया, ऑलमोस्ट नो टेलीविजन, रेडियो से होता था, और एक एक फार्मर को एम्पावर कर दूं बाई सेइंग जय किसान, he basically created a situation where everybody got inspired. He didn't leave it there, because that still is Jai Jawan Jai Kisan was about 60% of India, 55-60% of farmers, and maybe 3% of army. Then he went one step further. He called to the nation, because the nation was struggling on food shortages. He said, हफ्ते में एक दिन खाना मत खाओ, एक मील. And almost near 100% of the people that time skipped a meal on a Monday. That's what he said, Monday. And many of you, if you check with the families, कोई ना कोई कहीं ना कहीं किसी ना किसी जगह पे मंडे का एक शाम का अन्न नहीं खाता. हम लोग नहीं खाते आज भी. That was such a powerful slogan of empowerment between those Jai Jawan Jai Kisan and calling for, skipping a meal. And that allowed the ushering in of the green revolution on one side and the white revolution on the other, because the three things he did is the green revolution with Kurian and created Amul. White revolution created Amul with Kurian. The green revolution. And then finally, also the first person, because Homi Baba was also killed after 15 days of his, which is why that all conspiracy, right? Because 15 days later, Homi Baba also got killed in a flight because he had written a letter for nuclear movement, right, in 1965, which finally Atal Bihari Vajpayee rolled out during Pokhran. It took 35 years later. But that letter was written, it's there in the memorial. If you go to the memorial, you'll see the letter. But lay in the, dust of the files, because the immediate incumbent later could not move on it for almost 20-25 years. Having said it, so that ability of empowering a generation individually and collectively was done at that time. But imagine, आज actually connected कैसे है? What is really technology? Technology कर क्या रहा है? I mean, Namrata ji ने बोला कि 700-800 million different people say different numbers, but 700-800 million people are online, or not online, are basically internet users. Online maybe even 1 billion plus. Actually, you have got one internet connection, but 20 people are using it or whatever, right? So therefore, you maybe 1 billion plus people have got democratized and got included in the economy of India, in the politics of India, in the voting system of India, in every aspect of India. That is an empowering ability of a nation at a scale and pace which has not been seen for almost a millennia. Almost never ever seen before this, right? What's probably going to happen in the next 10 to 15 years, the combination of that must have happened in the last 200 years. The pace of AI development that will cause further growth in the way the world works. And that's what's going to happen. So think about it. So AI is redefining individual and collective empowerment across the world and as a nation. And that's the potential. Now, I know we talked about this, both the gentlemen before me, but whether it's 1 billion plus online consumers of information, or 700 to 800 million internet users, or it is 600,000 plus villages now getting connected. Because one village is basically now 70% of India, if you add up all the 650,000 villages, getting connected. 1 million plus small enterprises, and being added every day. And a multitude of government services, all getting online. And on that infra that's being created, and most of it's happening in the last 7 to 8, 10 years, that's the reality. And on that infra, you now have AI. So the ability of bringing it together, the smallest thing, the most frequently used by me, for example, I travel a lot to Bangalore. So Digi Yatra, अगर कोई airport जाएगा, वो Digi Yatra 1 second में आपको अंदर कर देता है. You don't have to take out any paper. And it's all AI. It's AI-powered identification. And it's being used. And you can just walk in if you have Digi Yatra. If you don't have Digi Yatra, तो आप खड़े हुए line में. So a small change is changing the way the public services are working, government services are working. Agriculture we talked about, I think, but Namrata ji talked about it, but it also is predicting, helping, apps are being developed that are predicting rainfall for the farmers. Starters बन रहे हैं कि हम आपका rainfall predict करेंगे, आप ये वाला crop लगाइए, आप ये वाला crop लगाइए, आप वो वाला crop लगाइए. Healthcare में आपका, villages say people are able to reach specialists by AI-based apps through telemedicine. Because AIs are able to answer कि आपको ये वाला specialist उनको पता ही नहीं कि ENT क्या होता है. नहीं पता भाई, villager को बेचारे आने में लगता था टाइम. वो तो वहीं से ऐप देखता है, कहता भैया ये स्पेशलिस्ट है, कॉल पे ले लो. Apollo 24/7 is now AI based. It's powered by AI. That 24/7 app. Education सबको पता है, so I won't talk about it. But I mean, EdTech is here to stay. While you'll have a Byju's once in a while, but I'm sure EdTech is here to stay for good. We are also involved in that, so we know. And finance तो is like crazy. मतलब UPI तो is unbelievable. I mean, France is using it. They're using our UPI technology. Middle East में now you can go to France and Paris and actually use your own UPI. I'm sure you must have read that, right? That you as an Indian in INR rupees can pay sitting in France. No forex. जाइए दीजिए. अभी वो Middle East में भी start करने वाले हैं, हो गया है. E-commerce, which is, I think, perhaps the most interesting part for a lot of marketing and sales people. Amazon and Flipkart or any of these people, what they put in front of you is basis. I think Namrata ji or Rohit ji talked about Netflix, right? But think about it. मतलब my wife says that I think उसको मेरा phone सुनता है मेरी बात, क्योंकि मैं तुमसे बात कर रही हूँ, अगले आधे घंटे में वो दिखाने लगता है in YouTube, या आप Amazon में जाओगे तो वो चीज़ दिखाने लगता है. Now obviously that depends if you have put some, I'm guessing open to all caches and all that stuff होता है, you can be smart about it. Especially if iPhone you're safer, if you have Android you are not that safe, but the reality is it is listening. And I'm sure technology guys will tell you that it's listening. If you're not letting it listen, then you are good, otherwise you are a little unsafe there. And therefore they are able to tell you कि यही चाहिए आपको item. Last time ये था, इस बार ये, अगली बार ये लेंगे, अभी आपको लगता है ये होना चाहिए. महीने के शुरू में लेंगे तो they'll give you monthly grocery. Bring it up in front. So that is all AI. And it's becoming stronger. It was always there, like I said, like I think Rohit ji said, but just becoming stronger, much, much stronger, and much more robust. With Gen AI, it's become really, really great. And, but ये तो tip of the iceberg है. ये तो भी start हुआ है. ये तो tip of the iceberg is just starting. So, लेकिन आप लोग का क्या मतलब है इसका? What does it mean for you guys? जो मैंने पहले बोला, and I think both Namrata and Rohit ji said, is that I think it's about new industries, new opportunities, new experimentation. It is not about the past. It is not about what you see the world today. By the time you really get into a job, which is about 5-7 years into your job, एक आध जॉब तो छोड़ोगे भी. मेरे ऐसे लोग कम होते हैं, छोड़ते नहीं है, लेकिन ज्यादातर लोग 2 साल में छोड़ देते हैं. तो 1.5 से 2 साल में छोड़ दोगे. By the time you really stabilize in a job, if you do a job, 5 साल में तो 100 साल निकल गए होंगे इंडिया में. लास्ट 100 years में अगले 5 साल में निकल जाएंगे. So it completely चेंज जाएगा. So new industries, new opportunities, chance to lead businesses, build startups, fail gloriously, and then still be successful. Make profits, but also improve profits, but also solve real world problems, which was not really possible earlier. Real world problems was the part and parcel of the government of the day, in India specifically. But real world problems now, an individual sitting here in the room can solve. एक perplexity करके chat GPT के ऊपर कुछ built है. I didn't know about it. I just came to know from my son. He was on a December Christmas holiday. तो perplexity करके कुछ चीज दिखाया, ये कुछ तो है. I don't know what it is, so don't ask me what it is. But I asked him this question. है बड़ी अच्छी चीज, मैं कुछ भी लिख दो, कुछ भी आ जाता है. तो यार ये बना सकते हो तुम तो अभी IIIT 4 साल कर चुके हो. कहते हाँ. मैं कितने दिन लगेंगे? कहते 10 मिनट. तो मैं कहा मतलब 10 minutes. तो he actually took 20 minutes, but he basically AI को बोल दिया उसने, कोडिंग हो गई, ठक हो गया. So ये empowerment है. You don't need, I mean, once I understood what he did, I don't need a coder. The code is there. I don't need it. I need to only know the questions to ask. And वो भी कमाल क्या है, perplexity अब याद आ गया question से. Perplexity करता क्या है? So you ask it a question. So you ask ChatGPT a question कि what is the best way to get loans for MSMEs in India, in Maharashtra? ये question है. So ChatGPT कुछ तो आंसर दे देगा. अब ये question perplexity को दोगे. Perplexity क्या करता है? It first takes the question and asks ChatGPT a question, saying इस question का best answer लेने के लिए मुझे 2 best question क्या चाहिए? वो 2 best question आते हैं, फिर वो उसी कोड में वो 2 question 2 अलग-अलग जगह, I think वो जेमिनी जो भी हैं ChatGPT equivalents उनको भेजता है, उनका आंसर लेता है, उसको collapse करता है, फिर वापस ChatGPT बोलता है उसको collapse करो and give me a final answer and answer देता है. Think about it. And it's just starting. The CEO of Perplexity or the founder recently met Modi ji by chance. But so think about how and what people are doing, and कुछ है नहीं, तो कुछ किया ही नहीं उसने 15 मिनट उसी में बना दिया. So to come back to the moot question जहां से शुरू किए थे, इसे तो ठीक है, हमारा क्या होगा, आप लोगों का क्या होगा? एंड मेरा आंसर ये है कि देखो जो मुझे पता है, मैं तो एक मंत्र से सीखा हूं 30 years में. I used to keep it on my desk. No, elaborated version of that is, this is one line. The elaborate version of that is, 1000 साल पहले और आज सब कुछ बदल गया. सब कुछ, ह्यूमन बीइंग बदल गया, ब्रेन साइज भी बदल गया होगा. एक ही चीज कॉमन है, उसमें भी कुछ ज्यादा ही इंजीनियर साइंस बोलेंगे नहीं, वो भी एग्जैक्टली ठीक नहीं है, सेकंडों में चेंज है, बट एक चीज कॉमन है 1000 साल पहले और आज का. क्या कॉमन है? व्हाट इज कॉमन? हाँ, टाइम. 24 hours इन अ डे. 1000 years भी थे और आज भी थे. 1000 साल पहले क्या जाते हो? 200 साल पहले एक फैमिली एक फार्म पे 1000, 2000, 2000, 5-10 रुपए कमा के अपना प्रोडक्शन करती थी, अपना कमाती थी, अपना खाती थी. What a person could achieve in a 24-hour day 1000 years ago, 100 years ago, and today is massively different. And I guarantee you, it's a multiplier by 1,000,000. मैं आज से 30 साल पहले जो अचीव करता था, मेरे पास आईफोन नहीं था भाई, फोन नहीं था यहाँ हमारे पास किसी, और आज करता हूं, जमीन आसमान का अंतर है, एटलीस्ट बाय अ फैक्टर ऑफ 20 in 30 years, what we achieved today. So therefore I go back to the same point. It is what I said, it is not the most intelligent, specifically what I wrote on my desk, not the most intelligent, it is not the most hardworking, it is not the best people, it is not the most hardworking people, it are not the most intelligent people, it is not the best people, it is not the richest people, it is not the people who pray to God, it are not the strongest people who succeed. None of these succeed. In my experience in 30 years, the person who becomes the senior most in whatever endeavor he takes or she takes, only one is the person who is able to adapt to change the fastest. मैं repeat करता हूं, it is not the best, the hardest, the richest, the strongest, the most spiritual, the most fun-loving, the most talented who succeed. The only people who really succeed are the people who are willing and are willing to adapt to change. And AI is a call for change. So अगर आज आपको कुछ और ना समझ भी आए, सिर्फ इतना समझ आ जाए कि हर घंटा चेंज होने वाला है, मेरे टाइम पे हर महीना चेंज होता था, आपके केस में once you get out of this institute, every hour you will have a new thing coming your way, and you're willing to adapt to that reality, fastest and quickest, you're guaranteed to succeed. If you get stuck with something, that's not a great place to be in today's world. You can actually make, with having said that, you can actually make an impact depending on what course of career you take with AI or built on AI. But really, एक पार्ट तो बड़ा सिंपल है, अगर आप एम्प्लॉयमेंट करोगे तो मैनेजमेंट थिंकिंग इंप्रूव करो, विच मीन्स एफिशिएंसी बढ़ाओ या रेवेन्यू बढ़ाओ, वो बात कर ली हमने, कॉस्ट घटा लो, लोग घटेंगे प्राइमरीली, टेक्नोलॉजी इंप्रूव कर लो, लोग घटेंगे प्राइमरीली, या रेवेन्यू बढ़ा लो तो पैसे जाएंगे जेब से किसी ना किसी के. दैट्स मैनेजमेंट थिंकिंग. द अदर इज कम अप विद न्यू इंडस्ट्रीज, कम अप विद न्यू थॉट्स. ओला, उबर, न्यू इंडस्ट्रीज, right? They're all new industries. They're not there. So similar, come up with new industries. Take these 2 years to experiment. Have fun, experiment. ये क्या कर सकते हैं? I'm guaranteeing you, if 5 to 10 people in this become entrepreneurs, all of them will succeed. All of them, I guarantee you. Because there is so much change happening and so much entrepreneurship coming your way that you have to go for it. So the first is improve management thinking. Second is find time and space for entrepreneurship. And the last one, and to my mind the most important that this institute should give to you, is worry about social impact. Worry about social inclusion. ये नहीं कि अर्बन इंडिया में प्रीमियम मार्केट में कुछ AI बेस कर दिया, हाँ पैसा है वहाँ, लेकिन get the poorest of the poor or the downtrodden or the people who are in the villages get included in the digital game, in the AI game. Make those people become relevant through AI. So these are 3 primary places where AI can really make a difference. And all of you as management thinkers, as you get into the management world, can think about all these 3 places. And you don't need to be employed, I repeat that. Challenge भी है, मैंने बोला, I touched upon it, privacy. भैया, AI सबसे dangerous तो AI में privacy है. So you have to be worried about it. While you think about these things and build around these things, security of your personal data or anybody else's personal data is critical. The other is skill gap. अभी मैंने तो बता दिया आपको perplexity, but there's a skill gap. Everybody doesn't know this. कि you don't need to do coding. भागते हैं. 90% of the people who end up doing, management, 90 गलत बोल रहा हूँ अभी, तो 30 हो गए. 30% of the people who do management are not engineers, right? 30, 40, 60% are people who are engineers perhaps, but 30 to 40 are not engineers. So उनको नहीं समझ आएगा ये मैथमेटिक्स क्या बोल रहे हो आप, वरना करना होता तो पहले नहीं कर लेते. So therefore, there is a skill gap. Not everybody knows how to work with AI yet. So one of the primary things is learn that and don't get bogged down by coding and all the jargon, but really think about how to use management philosophies in this and then try and educate people. So in conclusion, the way I would like to kind of end it with a couple of thoughts. What I mentioned earlier, individual and collective empowerment and independence that was created over a couple of 100 years in one fell swoop will be created over the next 10 years, maybe even earlier. Everybody will be empowered. Earlier it was, अगर ये ऐसे सोचिए आप, intellect basically with AI primarily is become irrelevant. Cerebral capacity relevant ही नहीं रही. इससे ज़्यादा empowerment क्या चाहिए? Cerebral capacity is no longer an impediment. So if a teacher tells you you're not studying, relevant ही नहीं है. वो relevant ही नहीं है. क्योंकि भाई मेरे टाइम पे हम ऑलरेडी ऑनलाइन स्टार्ट हुआ था, नेटस्केप का टाइम था. सो नेटस्केप के टाइम पे हमारा स्टार्ट हो गया था, तो हम कॉपी मारते थे ना थोड़ा बहुत प्रोजेक्ट में, थोड़ा कर लेते थे. बट आपके केस में तो मतलब कुछ काम ही नहीं करना है. माई डॉटर इज फर्स्ट ईयर, मतलब आई शुड नॉट से इट बट द फैक्ट इज द फैक्ट. वो तो पूरा प्रोजेक्ट चैट जीपीटी को डालती है, ठक करके बनता है, दे देते हैं. ये रियलिटी है. सो द क्वेश्चन इवन फॉर फैकल्टी, इफ यू आस्क मी माई व्यू, इज नॉट डिस्करेज इट. Because if you discourage it, the institute becomes irrelevant. I think you should encourage it. Because if you encourage it, your children will be way ahead of the average children of the IIM Bangalore people. क्यों वहां तो रोका जा रहा है. लेकिन I guarantee you, हार्वर्ड में नहीं रोका जा रहा. I am guaranteeing you. स्टैनफोर्ड में नहीं रोका जा रहा. कह रहे घुसो और बताओ क्या कर सकते हो. Make it better. So I would say the counter. So think about this. It's more important to have fun because fun is what will be memories. याद वही रहेगा जिसमें मजा आएगा, जो वरना पढ़ना लिखना याद नहीं रहता. I end where we started. But having said it, so over 200 years, democracies have been built, empowerment has been created. Self-reliant nation states have been made, empowerment has been created. Liberalization has been done, empowerment has been created. But AI-based empowerment is what is relevant today. So, my last statement is, I look with confidence and with pride, and probably hope to follow you guys, that as you step into your leadership roles in the near future, I know with AI and AI-powered world, all of you guys will make a massive difference in your own respective worlds. The future, in my mind, is in your hands and every single individual of your age across the country today. I hope and pray that you are excited and energized to make a difference to the world, because the idealism of this generation or this age is extremely infectious and can create massive turnarounds, which is what I am known for. Massive. But the spark is in the emotion. So intellect, मैंने बोला ना, cerebral, irrelevant. तो बचा क्या? EQ. तो अगर आप networking, relationship, friendship, fun, enjoyment करेंगे, तो हंगामा create करेंगे. So the future is in your hands, and I'm excited to see how you lead us all there. Because for us, अगर आपने मूवी देखी कल, आज और कल, तो कल तो हमारे पिताजी थे, आज हम हैं, पर कुछ सालों में आप हो जाओगे. So all the best, and have a great time at LBSIM. Thank you.
Sir, we sincerely thank you for sharing such informative and thought-provoking insights with us today. Your words of wisdom will leave a lasting impact and motivate us to approach challenges with a renewed perspective. As we near the end of the inaugural session, we look forward to the upcoming discussions.
Now I request Professor Praveen Gupta to kindly felicitate our chief guest for today, Mr. Rohit Sood, with the memento as a token of our gratitude. Thank you, sir.
I request Professor Rekha Gupta to kindly felicitate our guest of honor, Ms. Namrata Bhattacharyya, with a memento as a token of our gratitude. Thank you, ma'am.
I request Dr. Rajkumari Mittal to kindly felicitate our guest of honor, Mr. Lagan Shastri, with a memento as a token of our gratitude.
Now, I would like to request Dr. Rajkumari Mittal to deliver the vote of thanks for the inaugural session. Please, ma'am.
I can see the tired faces. Good afternoon, everybody. Respected dignitaries across the dais, my dear students, faculty colleagues. Couple of days back, I read somewhere that Anand Mahindra was being asked once upon a time that what is AI, what AI means for you, or what AI stands for you. So he said AI means audacious and innovation, combination of both. So the theme of our today's conference, AI-driven innovation. I also believe in the same, theme that AI-based innovations are necessary, integral part of today's time. And being an integral part of LBSIM family, it's my honor and privilege to convey this vote of thanks on behalf of my team and LBSIM fraternity as well. First of all, we extend our heartfelt thanks to our chairman, BOG, Shri Anil Shastri ji, for his visionary leadership and unwavering support in making the event a big success. Respected Director, sir, thank you for your insightful vision and tireless efforts. I remember every time whenever AIDS conference is to be conceptualized, sir is always very particular about select this theme. This is industry related. So thank you so much, sir, for your ideas, your ideation, encouragement and dedication have made this event possible today. I would like to thank my conference co-convener, Dr. Rekha Gupta, and all my faculty colleagues from area as well as from other departments also. It's your collective effort, friends, that transform the challenges into opportunities and dreams into reality. Esteemed speakers across the dais, Mr. Rohit Sood, very thoughtful ideas, sir, where you narrated how AI can be leveraged as a transformative force instead of a hindrance. Thank you so much. Madam Namrata, ma'am, it was very wonderful to have insights where we can look in for the AI-related innovations and how AI is a catalyst come equalizer. It's really thoughtful for my students as well. Lagan Shastri, sir, esteemed guest of honor, your energetic words for the students, they awake them. And I think it was good that 100 years or 1,000 years back, kya badla, kya nahi badla. Is it? Agreed? Good. So carry it, transform yourself, innovate yourself using artificial intelligence. But at the same time, Shastrians, you have to remain grounded. I think that is one learning which we learn from Sir's message. We would also like to thank me and my team. We also like to convey our sincere thanks to the upcoming panel speakers, workshop experts who have given their precious time for this wonderful, institutional activity. This event would not have been possible without the support or the due support or tireless support of our administrative staff under the able guidance of Colonel Sood. Thank you, sir. With your efforts and with your team's tireless efforts, we can say that it has become materialized. It has materialized. The event has materialized successfully in such a short span of time. We, as a team, also wish to thank Team PRC, dear club members, management grid, and all students from this row to that above, right? So last, dear Shastrians, once upon a time, APJ Abdul Kalam sir said, India's success story is written in the ink of innovation and powered by the strength of its youth. So from today onwards, can we say Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Anusandhan? Thank you, Jai Hind. Thank you, everybody.